TD Ryan Unleashed is brought to you by Scott Diamond, your State Farm insurance agent in DeKalb. Call 815-748-3101 or stop by at 2587 Sycamore Road, Suite D in DeKalb. Like a good neighbor, Scott Diamond and State Farm are there. Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more at 824 West Lincoln Highway in DeKalb. Don't forget Kids Eat for Free on Thursday. For delivery or pickup, go to pizzavilla.com or call 815-758-8116. Elder Care Services of DeKalb. Safe, secure, and supported. Helping you stay in home where you want to be. Call 815-758-6550 or stop in at 1701 East Lincoln Highway in DeKalb or on the web at ecsdekalb.org. My Insurance Guy in Sycamore covers Medicare to auto care and everything in between. Stop by at 204 South Main Street in Sycamore. Call 815-899-0950 or online at myinsuranceguy.com. And welcome into TD Ryan Unleash, a news podcast number 55. As always, a big gratefulness to our sponsors. And, of course, a bigger gratefulness to the oak tree of the news department, Dan Lynch. Dan, much gratefulness to you.
Yes, a blistering hot holiday week.
Yeah, I think it's the heat that's getting to me there with the heat there. So we and of course I'm very emotional too. So if I break down, I just lost my dog yesterday, and it's been very emotional. Even though Lily was 16 and we knew it was coming, but I found out that doesn't help. It doesn't help to know that it's coming. Ironically, both of us near the end there were hoping that Lily would just pass in her sleep.
Yeah.
I read a novel where this guy, whenever he said goodbye to people, he said, "I hope you die in your sleep." When he said goodbye, and he said, "Well, that's the ultimate thing that we can hope for is that we would die in our sleep."
Right.
Isn't that an odd little compliment?
I mean, I can think of a lot worse ways to go.
Yeah. So we had to arrange for that, and that was the toughest thing. But I read all this psychological stuff that, be in the room with the dog when you're doing it and make sure that your dog has eye contact. I don't know how they know all this stuff that they know, but I did that, and I made sure that she saw me, that I was the last thing they saw. And then I read this other thing. I was reading all up about the dogs passing, that supposedly their brain is still active for another couple of minutes after the shot, after their heart stops.
Mm.
So the vet came in and told us that her heart had stopped, but we still leaned in and gave her some more love because they said that the olfactory lobes are still working or something, but they still have a sense that they're there. I guess they studied dogs and death and how dogs deal with death. And like one of the things I read that dogs will go, and dog owners will probably know this, they'll go lay somewhere they don't normally lay if they're getting ready to pass away. And I guess they don't want you to see them in their demise. So they'll go and hide and go lay somewhere they wouldn't normally lay. So anyway, so they said even in death, dogs are still thinking about you, worried about you finding them. And they're just like elephants, I guess they were saying. Where elephants go to die, the elephant dying grounds, they'll go to an area to die and away from others. And that's what the dogs were doing too. So God bless her. Lily, the brown dog, will live on in our hearts. And as I said,
you got her as a pup, right?
Yeah. So all 16 years we had her. So. And she worked at my wife's jewelry store for all 16 years. So I was telling you off the air, she's got her own little following over there because so many people came in and they said, "Now, where's Lily?" And my wife has a glass door to her back room there at the jewelry store, and Lily would peek her little head through the glass door, and people would just melt. And "Can she come out? Can she come out?" And she said like 90% of the customers had no problem with the dog. There were some people that just didn't want the dog around, but because she was worried about that when we first got her. She go, "Can I bring a dog to a jewelry store? Is that right to do that?" But boy, it sure turned out right. That's for sure. So thanks for all the folks, all their condolences. Thank you, Dan, for that. Again, it has been rough, but again, as I learned, we were so blessed to get 16 years with a rot pick mix, a big dog like that. She was 77 pounds, so for her to stick around as long as she did, and she had no health issues up until the end here. So we were so blessed there.
Good genes.
Yeah. Her father, Billy, was my stepson's dog, and she lived to be 16 as well, too. So. And her Uncle Aldo as well. So there we have it. This is our 4th of July show. So I have some facts about fireworks were invented over 2,000 years ago in China. And then make a little pun, talk about an explosive legacy. The world's biggest fireworks weighed over 2,800 pounds and was fired in Colorado, USA in 2020. Now, Dan, I think you were in Colorado, USA in 2020. Were you, sir?
Yeah.
Would you remember that? What the hell was that all about? They don't explain what that was.
It woke me up. Jarred me out of bed.
It woke you up. Yeah, 2,800-pound firework fired in Colorado, USA 2020. And the term pyrotechnics comes from the Greek word fire and art because fireworks are pure art in the sky. And we will have more fun facts as we go along, but since it is our 4th of July show, I thought we'd sneak those in there. Let's do one more. The first fireworks weren't colorful. The earliest fireworks invented in China around 200 BC were simply explosions with loud bangs. Yeah, woke Dan up. Color effects only came in much later when metal salts were added. I didn't know that. Is that how they started, with the metal salts? I did not know that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, but they are spectacular now.
Oh, yeah, and this one here for the DeKalb supposed to be the most spectacular ever.
That's what I hear. They're giving it the build-up.
All right, what do you got for news there, my friend? I should point out, Dan's got a great shirt on that we all can relate to. Pray, hope, and don't worry. I like that.
Thank you.
Necessarily in that order. I like that. All right. Oh, what you got, Dan?
Illinois Department of Transportation is advising you to look out for pavement failures due to high temps and humidity.
Buckling, yes.
Across Illinois, but especially northern Illinois, IDOT said pavement buckling and blowouts happen with little warning. The agency urged drivers to stay alert for crews making emergency repairs. Pavement failures can be reported by calling the state or 911. So the number, if there is a pavement failure, TD.
All right, I'm writing this down.
800-452-4368.
Couldn't have something catchy like 1-800-CONCRETE or something like that?
But I did have a blowout a couple weeks ago, and it was loud, and fortunately I wasn't going that fast. But my neighbors heard it, and
what did you hit something? Do you know what happened?
No. I might have. I don't know. I didn't hit anything at that moment.
It caused a blowout. Okay.
I was cruising down the road, but
boy, that's scary. Did you lose control for a minute? What was it, your front right?
No,
your front left,
I was just cruising about 30 down Bar Boulevard, and so that was fortunate. I wasn't going 65.
Right, yeah. And then the tracks over here on 7th here in DeKalb, the tracks on 7th Street, it was real bad for a while. Actually, had a piece of metal sticking out there. Saw a lot of people responding to that. Now, my understanding, the people that got trouble there, they were going to sue the railroad for the railroad not maintained. Because do you have any legal recourse? Well, you didn't hit a pothole. But I saw in Chicago, there was a really bad pothole, and people were actually suing the city, or there was some way to get compensation. But I don't know how you prove that pothole caused your blowout, But
tires are expensive.
Yeah,
like four new tires for your rig. I don't know.
No, Dan, it's 3 tires and the 4th one's free. They do that. Like, are we that gullible? Do you think you're giving us a 4th tire for free? So we're talking about everybody talks about the heat, nobody does anything about it. But a very interesting article in the Chronicle here yesterday. Is it corn sweat? That's really nasty to think about. It's like when the weatherman says that the weather it's spitting on you. But apparently this is a thing there where the corn actually sweats, causing more humidity in the air. So if you're closer to a farm field, that according to all northern Illinois counties are under extreme heat warning. Dangerous hot conditions with heat indexes around 105 in the afternoon on July 2nd. But they say the kind of sudden heat surge can cause the corn to give off it's probably the beginning of what to start the effects being corn and the corn belt, the effects of evapotranspiration. Evapotranspiration. So now you worked in the cornfields. You talked about getting there early in the morning. It was cold and stuff, and then by the evening,
you were soaking wet in the early morning.
So there was a lot of moisture involved there, huh?
Yeah, well, the dew.
Yeah,
and your shirt was all wet.
Yeah,
and it was cold.
So in this case, the dew was coming off. Right? Then it's evaporating into the atmosphere.
Yeah, we all smell terrific after that work day.
The current heat wave is also being influenced by humidity air being pulled in from the south as well. So the large dip in the jet stream creating a thorough low pressure, and they talk about all that nonsense there. But they talked about a heat dome that is created by the corn. I never knew that. So if then you're feeling extra humid when you're hanging out by the cornfields, that's why. It's kind of neat to hear that. Where research is conflicting them, that's about it. So so I didn't know that the corn would actually give off humidity like that.
Yeah.
So, of course, you working in the cornfields, you know that all too well.
I was just thinking about my $3.35 an hour.
Now, has that job been given to robots? Is that automatic? I don't hear kids talking about picking
True.
corn.
Yeah, I don't know. My guess is, they have a machine for that.
Yeah, because who's going to do that now?
Because I'd make my kids do it if I could.
Yeah? What'd you pull in for that? $3 an hour?
$3.35
I was kidding, right? $3.35
per hour. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But we all had hopes that, one kid, he was going to buy some golf clubs with it.
Uh-huh.
My brother bought a Gran Torino with his money because you could buy a car for $300
Yeah.
in his day.
The
And
Starsky and Hutch car, no less.
no insurance. Didn't need insurance back then.
No. All right, what do you got for news there?
A Chicago woman is facing multiple felony charges after authorities say she drove the wrong way on I-88. This was last week. And apparently is accused of pointing a gun at law enforcement. As the incident continued, this was Lee County authorities began receiving multiple 911 calls regarding a female matching the woman's description. And as she was attempting to gain access to occupied vehicles while brandishing a gun along Illinois Route 38. This was west of DeKalb near Franklin Grove. The Lee County Sheriff's Office say 37-year-old Samara Russell was taken into custody Saturday. She was taken for a mental health evaluation. She's now charged with 3 counts of attempted aggravated vehicular hijacking.
Wow.
And other misdemeanors.
So she hijacked the car, then went the wrong way on 88, huh?
Well, that was unconfirmed.
Okay.
But yes,
Wow.
it sounds like it.
And of course, why not have a gun along with you? You're going to go do something like that, be sure to bring a gun along with you when you're doing that. That's always a good idea. But the number of people driving the wrong way on an expressway, I mean, what do they have to do
Wow.
on these on-ramps to let people know? Or
It's-
the off-ramps.
It's
That's right.
dangerous driving the right way on the expressway.
I know, but gosh, they can't figure out even how to get on. And then that surreal feeling it must be when you realize you're going the wrong way.
Oh, mercy.
Jeez. Oh, boy. All right, on a lighter note, everybody's been talking about the mural there again at 7th and Lincoln Highway. It's amazing how quickly it's gone up there. And the artist is Kristen Sandlin. This, according to an article from the Chronicle, has long been fond of President Abraham Lincoln and what he's done for America. Now, she's from Tennessee and was commissioned by the city of DeKalb to paint the mural near the intersection of East Lincoln Highway and 7th Street in downtown. She said she's putting a lot of work into the mural, and you can certainly see that, especially in the weather we've been having. I work early in the morning until it gets dark. She says people will come and talk. I really used to that art as a public. I considered it part of my job. She said that she senses the DeKalb community is all about belonging and connections. She says, quote, I was a weirdo when I was a kid. I was an odd person now. I was told I was an odd person. I didn't feel that I belong, but this makes me feel connect with the city of DeKalb and its citizens. She said she's been in talks with the owner of Fargo Skateboarding and Off-Track Art Supplies about potentially leading some art workshops. Work on the mural is partially paid for. Now, this is a big thing issue, Dan, is that people thought the city paid for the whole thing. The mural is partially paid for by a grant from the Illinois Art Council, according to a news release from the city. The city also set aside sales tax dollars for the American 250 Fund to help pay for the project. So that was part of the problem that I've heard people complain about. The other thing was that she's from Tennessee and not from DeKalb, but I guess they couldn't find a DeKalb artist to do it. The mural is anticipated to be completed just in time for the start of the 4th of July holiday. Yeah, and I drive by, I work over there at Hayes Gym, so I drive by that every day. And I see her out there, like she said, in the morning, at night, and this excessive heat. Man.
Right.
And to watch that go up like that, that's really amazing.
Well, and people are upset about the money being spent.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
It's always, I'm starting a new category called Off the Internet. And this case, it's about the pool, the Cal Park District. Of course, I take it kind of personally now that I work for the Park District. But, people, when they post an article about the progress of the pool, all the negative comment, every single one is negative. Pool's not big enough. The pool was better last year. I don't know, where's this, where's this, where's that? Are the kids going to be able to swim? So I'll read those later on. But again, it's going to be a new category, off the internet, because people just, like you said, when they don't have that anonymity that they have, people just feel, just let it go. And they all want to be negative, it seems like.
Well, it's easy to sit on the side,
Yeah.
sit on the sidelines and jeer at everything.
Right. Yeah.
There are some people in life, they do whatever's easy.
and that's one of those things. That's what social media is kind of irritating.
I have a person that comes into the Hayes Gym every day and always spouting off about something that we joke about. I joke with the guy who works there. That just they don't seem to be happy unless they're complaining about something. I guess there's just certain people that just got to have that one little irritant in their life every single day. They just got to share that with people. So she does every time.
Yeah, but when you get involved, then you can see it from other points of view.
Yeah. My favorite was Marvin Barnes here, was one of our guests here on the podcast, and he is the alderman over there in Sycamore. He was also on the school board at Sycamore, and he had a call about midnight one night. Guy complained about something that the school board did, and he goes, I pay your salary. And Marvin just calmly waited and said, sir, I am not paid for what I do. And the guy immediately apologized and hung up because he had called him in the middle of the morning, and he assumed that being on the school board was a paid position. And when Marvin explained to him that it's not a paid position, he did back right off there. And,
Right.
After he said, I pay your salary. And he's like, well, there is no salary. So, but like I said, people just got to go off.
Yeah, and for instance, if you're building a jail or a pool, the local government has to adhere to state statutes.
Right.
You can't build a jail. A jail isn't a room with just food and water. You have to have some recreation, some tennis courts or racquetball or hoops or whatever. Or, you have to, the state makes the local governments.
Right.
So
Yeah. Have
people
you ever
don't-
toured? We got to tour the radio station. We got to tour the jail, the new jail there in Sycamore. And really nice. The kitchen was what was most impressive.
I've
Big.
toured a couple jails, but
Yeah?
not the local one here, no.
Okay. Yeah. It's a big industrial-like kitchen. Really, really nice setup there.
Yeah.
And of course, that was built to add on to, but with the Safety Act, they're not holding near as many people, right, in jail before the trial. So
Yeah, that I'm not sure, but
attendance is down, as they say.
yeah, they've come a long way.
Let's leave it at that. Or you got another news story?
A Chicago woman is facing, a DeKalb woman was arrested this week, yesterday morning at 2 a.m. Deputies pulled over a car on Route 38 and Southeast Line Road. Now, this was in Ogle County. 27-year-old Victoria Barilli of DeKalb was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs and cited for illegal transportation of alcohol, expired registration, expired driver's license, no car insurance. She was taken to the county jail where she was booked and released with a notice to appear. Deputies were assisted on the scene by Illinois State Police.
But usually when you have a myriad, I like to use fancy words,
Myriad?
a myriad of charges like that, they only 2 or 3 of them they actually charge them with, right? They usually end up dropping all the other.
Well, yeah, and they got to
See if she has any priors.
Oh, okay. All right, very good. Well, this is kind of a sports and a news story. The NIU women's basketball team helped to assist the Habitat for Humanity DeKalb County and its latest building. That's right in my house. They're about 2 blocks from my house, on Pleasant Street here in DeKalb, helping to contract a duplex in partnership with Habitat for Humanity, the site that was last built along Pleasant Street in DeKalb. We're talking to Stromberg, one of the officials among the members of the Northern Illinois University women's basketball team who joined the Habitat for Humanity on Saturday for what nonprofit is calling the largest project in local chapter history. The lot will be a duplex, which will occupy the 1,200 block of Pleasant Street. Now, it's not a very big area, Dan. I mean, it's not a very big space, so I didn't know it was going to be a duplex. Once built, the duplex will make Habitat for Humanity the 19th and the 20th built by the nonprofit in the 30th history here in DeKalb. Habitat for Humanity Executive Director Kim McEver said the project carries great meaning for Habitat Humanity. It's a great accomplishment, he said, in testimony with the community values in terms of affordable housing because we weren't able to build those without the support of the community. Yeah, affordable housing, that's really a big buzzword there. So a lot of times when they build remember when they used to do that show, that makeover, the house makeover, whatever?
Extreme makeover.
Yeah. So they'd have a relatively basic house, and they had to put all this fancy crap in there for the family. And then my understanding was a lot of that stuff broke after they left, after the people, they just Mickey Moused it together for the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm like, why not just give them the basics that they need? Give them a good heater, a good water heater, a good kitchen, and none of this fancy crap that you have to add to it. So that's what they're doing here with Habitat for Humanity. They're building just a basic home, a basic duplex here, so 2 families can live in that. And you know about that, Dan, with the Habitat for Humanity, the families that are getting the house actually work on the house. They actually
Right.
put the sweat equity in there. And then they're told about how to pay their bills and make sure they're not going to lose the house once they get it, which is really important. A project leader said they hope the duplex will be completed by early 2027. But how about it? Great that the girls' basketball team helping out. Schomburg said she believes team building, that's the coach of the girls' basketball team at NIU, said she believes team building will be paramount to the team's success during the regular season. The season will mark Stromberg's first with NIU women's basketball team. So that's great. They got them out there working, bonding together. I can barely hammer a nail into something, so I would have to be I'd have to bring sandwiches or something or bring water.
Yeah. It's
Well, you're hands-on. Didn't you build a fence? Didn't you?
kid fort.
All right.
Yeah, I had to build something this week. My window well wall is made of wood, and
All right. Well, the kids'
Yeah,
fort,
so
there's no
I was-
pressure there. Were they pleased with what you came up with, or were there complaints about the fort?
No, because there's a school nearby, and they can use the swings over there. This was just a little place for them to hang out.
Okay, that's cool. That's great news. That. This is the 4th of July show, so we're adding tips about little facts. Italy invented modern fireworks display. In the 1830s, Italian pyrotechnics pioneered the use of metal compounds to produce vivid colors, which shaped the modern displays we know today. I didn't know. I never knew we'd give Italy credit for that. And blue is the hardest color to create. Chemically, blue fireworks are the most difficult to perform because the copper compounds needed to produce the blue burn at specific temperatures too hot, and the color disappears. You don't see a lot of blue fireworks, I guess. I think about it.
Yeah, I was always told that. You turn on the stove and there's the flame, and
Yeah.
the blue part is hotter.
Is it right? I didn't know that. And one more, the world's largest annual fireworks display is in the Philippines. The Philippines International Pyro Musical Competition attracts pyrotechnic teams globally, lighting up the sky and the choreographed shows to music. How cool is that? Now, do you like the drones idea? The drone, talking about doing away with fireworks and just having drones with lights up there. And I know a lot of cities have done. I know, just doesn't have the same.
Doesn't have any soul to
It doesn't have any soul. I know it's probably more economical and probably better for the environment, but still, you got to have some.
I mean, maybe they've been doing that the last few years, and I just didn't know.
Some places that I saw, yeah, and I just not a big fan of drones myself, anyway. Or you got one more news story?
DeKalb Knights of Columbus Council hosting its 43rd DeKalb County First Responder Appreciation Pig Roast. That's July 16th at the Knights Hall on East Lincoln Highway. Fire and police personnel from across the county will get a pulled pork dinner in recognition for their service because they are working on Independence Day. The public is also invited. The dinners will be available beginning at 5 p.m. on the 16th. You can dine in or carry out. Organizers also encourage donations and sponsorships to help support this annual event. This is the 43rd year they are doing that.
Is that right? Well, how about that? All right, let's take a look at community calendar now, brought to you by Stagecoach Players Theater. Go to stagecoachplayers.com to find out what's going on. You can call over 815-758-1940. Matter of fact, next week we'll be giving away tickets to The Man Who Came to Dinner. That's going to run July 23rd through August 2nd at the beautiful Stagecoach Players Theater. I don't know that one. I know The Man, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Did you ever see that one with Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn and
Oh, yes.
Sidney Poitier?
Yep.
Very great one. The Biking with Beansy. We heard all about that last week. We had Bill Finucane here with us as our news co-host. Biking with Beansy will be Sunday, July 12th. You can ride 21 miles, 43, or 63 miles. You can register at www.kishwaukeekiwanis.org or Beansy Ride as well. And they got really cool Beansy jerseys now. I think it's too late to get a Beansy jersey, but again, that's coming up on July 12th. Could you ride 23, 43, or 63 miles, Dan, on a bike?
I could do 23.
All right. That's
Maybe.
that'll be my, no, it might be a maybe for me. And then that's, what else we were? Oh, yeah, then we already had that. We already missed Conductor Cody was here talking about the American Railroad system through the years. So sorry that we missed Conductor Cody. But
Okay. I'm thinking of Commander Cody.
I think a little different thing. Now, last week we had the baseball player of the year. Now we have the softball player of the year, and that's Carrie Lance of Sycamore. Check out these numbers, Dan. Lance, in her final season of organized ball, hit .472 with a program record 16 home runs, 49 RBIs, and was named the Daily Chronicle Softball Player of the Year. She also won it her sophomore year in 2024 where she put up some monster numbers, hit 441, had 7 home runs and 36 RBIs, and reached the second straight Class 3A Super Sectional. But she doesn't want to play anymore. She says, I love the sport, but I didn't love playing the sport anymore. I've kind of lost the love for it because my freshman and sophomore year took a really hard toll on me mentally as well as physically. Now, she played catcher, of course. And I remember my dad calling that the tools of ignorance with catchers, the equipment that they have, because who's going to stand behind somebody throwing baseball, or softball at you 50, 60 miles an hour and people swinging it in front of him. Now, she dislocated her kneecap of the season and thought she was done for the year, but the doctors were able to get her back to play. She finished with now I don't understand on-base percentages. She's got a 1.576 OPS.
That's pretty high.
That's pretty high, isn't it? 1.047 slugging percentage in a new program record. She hit 605 with runners in scoring position. 605 with runners in scoring position. 472 would run it with 2 outs and drove in 14 runs with 2 outs. Struck out only 4 times in 119 plate appearances. Sounds like Tony Gwynn. Lance set many Spartan single-season career records, including 40 career home runs, her 4 Illinois Coach Association All-State selections, and her 148 career RBIs. You always know you're looking for that guy to drive the runs in. That's it. Carrie was at 148 career RBIs. She said she wanted the school home run record since she was in middle school. Lance said she's attempting to go to Harper College, majoring in health science to eventually enter the school's cardiac sonogram program. Well, there's a woman who knows what she wants to do, but I'm sure she's gotten many offers to play some college softball, but she doesn't have the passion for it anymore. So,
Well, after hearing that she dislocated her patella,
Yeah.
her kneecap,
ooh, man,
that sounds excruciating.
that really does. Boy, so she powered through that, too, and to put up those monster numbers for the years. But God bless her for figuring out that it's something that she just wasn't going to do, and I called it there. So that's good for her. And that's a quick look at sports. We always look at the Obits, too. And, again, we're adding a couple of new features. We'll have a couple of jokes here for you in a little bit. But we love to include the Obits because, here's the 5 things to do in DeKalb County. But they're mostly, they all involve fireworks. Of course, DeKalb will have the largest 4th of July celebration ever, starting at 5:30 with food trucks in Hopkins Park. And then the Star Spangled Banner at 7:30. Fireworks show start at 9:30. Kirkland's 4th of July celebration for Independence Day will run July 2nd through the 4th. You got Shabana celebrating the 4th of July all day. Plenty of family-friendly events starting at 7 a.m. with a pancake breakfast. Bingo, cornhole. DeKalb Farmers Market runs through 10 a.m., 10 p.m. Thursdays, July 2nd through September 3rd. And American 250 in Sycamore commemorates America's 250th anniversary with a ceremony at 3 p.m. Wednesday, July 8th at the DeKalb County Courthouse. The event will be public reading of the Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
How cool is that?
That'd be nice.
One of the greatest documents ever written there. And now we get to the Obits here, and we have just a couple here, but fascinating people again. Jeannie C. Benters, age 95, born in Chicago in 1931. She lived a vibrant life in her younger years. She was an accomplished roller derby player. How cool is that? I would love to talk to her just about that, about her time in the roller derby, because I tell you, my brothers and I used to watch roller derby out of Channel 26 out of Chicago.
Yeah.
The
T-Birds.
Right, the T-Birds, the fabulous T-Birds.
Yep.
With Joni Weston. I still can remember the blonde Joni Weston. She was also an award-winning skate dancer. Professionally, she served as a training coordinator for the Pampered Chef founder, Doris Christopher, and managed several properties in the Chicago area. I bet she could tell stories about that as well. She was a member of St. John's Baptist Catholic Church in Salmonok. So, Jeannie, a very interesting life that she led. And speaking of interesting, so was Norma. We apologize for that interruption there. We were going through the Obits. We were doing Norma C. Wildenrand, was born on October 26, 1932 in Malta. She grew up with 8 siblings on their farm. She was employed at the Colgate Cap and Gown. Why does that sound? Is that what did they have in the corner of the market on cap and gowns? I swear we had Colgate Cap and Gowns. I don't know why that sounded, or Collegiate Cap and Gown. And later, Chicago Title Company. Norma sang along. Well, here's the other one. Norma sang along with her 3 older sisters in performances that include the WLS Barn Dance, Breakfast Club Show, with, I was trying to remember the guy who did was it Don McNeil, the Breakfast Club Show, and Morris B. Sachs Amateur Hour. And that one, that preceded Arthur Godfrey's Amateur Hour.
Okay.
So how cool is that? So she's had her whole life, she can tell people that she sang on the WLS barn dance with her other sisters. I mean, I'd love to know what songs they did.
And there was a lot of ag related programming on those big stations.
But she got to do that with her sisters, and she was a member of the Salem Lutheran Church of Sycamore. Sure, spending time with her family. But I love that people that have stories like that, they got to be a WLS barn dance. I mean, how cool is that? That was like, because that's a big stick, right? That WLS, 50,000
as
watts.
big as it gets.
That's as big as it gets, boy. Because I worked in Ogallala, KOGA in Ogallala, and we had a 50,000 watt stick there. And that's in the middle of Nebraska, so that just gets everywhere, Kansas, it was amazing the spread that had. Somebody said you guys don't do jokes anymore. Why do fireworks drink? What do fireworks drink, Dan?
What do fireworks drink?
How
I'm going to say a cold beer.
I can tell you have a kids. At least you answer. No, sparkling water. Sparkling because it's either fireworks. I tried to trade a deer for fireworks. I wanted to get the best bang for my buck. Now, that reminds me of my favorite joke. Do you know the difference between the price of beer nuts and deer nuts?
No.
Beer nuts are $2.50 and deer nuts are just under $1. Hey, I'll be here all week. My dad came to me. My dad told me when he dies, he wants his ash to be made into fireworks so he can go out with a bang. I said, "Okay, boomer." Oh, that's a good one. I haven't been called boomer yet, but I know it's coming. A police officer caught 2 kids playing with fireworks in a car battery. He charged one and let the other one off. And the good news about making defective fireworks is that nobody points the finger at you. So we were talking about that last week, about Carlos May, the former White Sox player who blew his finger off with fireworks.
And he was still in his prime?
Yeah.
Yikes.
I still can see him holding that bat with that missing digit there.
So
and then you brought up the guy that was a defensive lineman for
Jason
New York.
Pierre-Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get leverage when you're a defensive end.
Yeah.
Well, without a finger and a half,
No, that was not good. And just interesting, we were talking off the air about people on the internet and how they'll just feel that they can just say anything. This was about the progress on the pool there in DeKalb. And I'm just going to read what some of the people said. Oh, what a joke. I want the old pool back. It looks so small when I drive by. Doesn't look like a pool to me. What happened to the big pool we used to have? Guess kids can't swim in DeKalb anymore. Only get wet. Oh, boy, so much fun. Not. But, hey, the parking lot's paved. I love the sarcasm. Everybody thinks they're so sarcastic and funny. You all got something to complain about. Miserable. There's somebody who finally stepped up. Way to go, DeKalb. You'll have a pool ready just in time for winter. Should be ready in time to shut down for the season. You take that? And continuing now with some of the jokes the response that people had about the progress on the DeKalb pool. So excited. So many positive there. I hope someone takes a crap. Now, Michael Fultz, I'll call this guy out. Let's hope somebody takes a dump in it. All right. Bonnie said, I wonder how much it's going to cost to go swimming when it's done. And then one guy goes off about how amazing, how ignorant you guys sound. Just what's you saying? Any chance to complain about something, they will. Are they having 2 different pools? It looks like it's just big enough for smaller kids. And finally, that looks like more fun than a new McDonald's play place. Just trying to keep the negative theme here. So there you have it. So I'm just amazed by internet. Just the people just are so negative, and just like the guy saying, I hope somebody takes a dump in it. What would you possess you to post something like that?
Well, and then you have people who feel the need to give their opinion on everything.
Yes.
Every topic on those silly message boards.
Yes. So there you have it. And that's birthdays, unfortunately, again, I don't want to get sad about this, but we use Lily's picture to ask people for their birthdays on the Facebook, and I couldn't bring myself to do that, post a picture of her, but asking people for their birthdays in July. So the one we have is the most important one, Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam will celebrate his birthday on the 4th of July. Do you have any other July birthdays?
No, I got a sister, July 26th.
Okay.
My sister Margaret, and happy birthday, USA.
There you go.
I remember the party 50 years ago.
And finally, a couple things about firework fun facts. Catherine Wheels are named after St. Catherine of Now, you're a religious guy, Dan. Named after St. Catherine of Alexandria, the spinning fireworks mimics the breaking wheel, a torture device linked to the saint's martyrdom. I think I can see that. They put her on one of those big wheels.
Yeah.
Gunpowder was discovered by accident. Chinese alchemists stumbled across the gunpowder while trying to create an elixir for immortality. ironic given the explosive nature. And finally, Japan hosts the world's biggest fireworks shell. The Yokoshama fired during the Katel Festival measures 1.2 meters in diameter and produces a burst of over 800 meters wide. So there's some fun facts about fireworks there. Did you get any? You going to do any?
I'm going to a party tomorrow, a big bash, but there will be, bag tossing. What do you call that game? Bags,
Okay.
cornhole.
Cornhole's a little trouble saying that one. And is there always a guy at the party who's going to be wanting to light off fireworks? That was my brother Kevin. He was the one who always.
I don't think so. That's more of an at-night thing. But
Okay.
the city of DeKalb has given it the build-up.
Yeah, boy. So looking forward to that, and then we'll look for the blue fireworks. We learned now that the blue fireworks is the most difficult one to create. But always kills me when people videotape or have their phones out. And are you gonna go back and watch that later? I mean, have you ever watch fireworks on video? I mean, please.
It's like watching them on TV. Any good movie? It's good. It's a good weekend to be inside too.
Well, yeah. Well, my favorite is George M. Cohan, the story of
Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Yankee Doodle Dandy. Yeah.
Yes.
We were just talking about that scene. If you remember, at the end of the movie, Jimmy Cagney comes down the steps at the White House, and he does this little move where he kind of dances down the step. Very dangerous move. And my understanding was that Cagney was told not to do that by the director of the film, and Cagney went and did it anyway. And
Really?
Yeah. So if you remember that scene at the end where he does that kind of two-step as he's walking down the steps there. It's then, of course, he goes out on the street, and they're singing, over there, over there.
Yes.
Hey, old man, don't you know the words? He's like, I wrote this song. Love that.
Right.
Yeah.
What a great
That's good stuff.
Independence Day movie, and there's a lot of them, but the one movie where Cagney's not a gangster.
Right. That's a great point. All right, and again, thanks to all our condolences for my lovely dog, Lily. Again, take care of your dogs. God, they are a spiritual beast. I tell you, Ricky Gervais is not one of my favorite people, but he does a little monologue about dogs being just special. He said that if I was going to create something, I couldn't create anything better than a dog. And it's true because their unconditional love, they're just so good for you spiritually. And I tell you, I went home today and my dog wasn't there, and I was devastated. It was just kind of hit me like a brick. So take care of your dogs. You take care of your lovely family, Dan, and we're giving you next week off, but we'll see you again in a couple weeks, all right?
Yeah, she was probably the greatest dog you ever owned.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So God bless Lily the brown dog. And God bless all our listeners. Thank Michael Davis, my nephew, for getting us on the air, and thanks to all our wonderful sponsors. And that's TD Ryan News Podcast number 55.